Hey Ken, let's take a look at your week 2 assignment 3 project very quickly here. This looks to be very similar to the last drawing that you turned in, so I don't have any kind of issues with things like your your perspective, your proportions, or the placement of the objects. I think all of those things are working out well, just as they were working out in the last version of the assignment. I think you've also done an even better job in getting these transitions to work out smoother. The metallic ones, they have this great kind of transition from highlight to shadow tone that feels very even, and in the sphere as well, it's just kind of this nice smooth transition. So the objects that should feel smooth, like the metal ones, just they really have that slickness to them. I think some of the ones that maybe aren't supposed to be specifically that really kind of smooth, you might even benefit from roughing it up a little bit. You know, maybe some of the edges here could be a little bit rougher and that sort of thing. But the textures in both cases I think work out well. I think you could introduce a little bit more color into this composition as a whole. I think you're starting to get a little bit of that in the wood, where you have the base color, which is very dark, and then it looks like you're introducing some oranges in a few areas, and I would almost like to see that being pushed a little bit more, and then seeing that also being brought forth in the other textures. You know, getting some very neutral, light, kind of beige or tan or goldenrod colors in the stone, just flecks of it here and there. Trying to get maybe some color interaction from the environment into the metallic textures. Maybe a little bit of this brown color can find its way into the metal. Maybe some of the green can find its way into the metallic texture. You might even be able to get in like a little bit of blue, which for some reason just seems to work with chrome and metal to make it feel even more metallic, and I don't know why, but it does. And that kind of stuff I think can help to make the drawing feel a little bit more varied. I think right now it feels a little limited because it's mostly just kind of these browns, the green, and then mostly the rest of it is just gray. So introducing even some subtle colors here and there I think can help to open it up and to make it feel like there's more layering and more going on in it than maybe even the little amount of color would initially imply. I think you can also try and push the value range a little bit more on the cubes with the wood texture. I think in the first drawing you did a good job because it was very light on the top and it was very dark, especially in towards the bottom on the side that wasn't getting hit with light. But that's not quite the case here. You're losing a little bit of that darkness contrast because the base coat of color is very dark, and you're losing a little bit of that lighter value because the color pencil I don't think is strong enough. So you might need to go in and kind of reinforce some of this value so that it's a little bit darker, and you might need to go over it with some colored pencil some more on the top plane of some of these a little bit more. It's there, I can see it. I can see that this is light, I can see that this is the middle, and this has some darker elements added to it, but I think it could be pushed a little bit further just for the sake of clarity. But overall, you know, I think with the exception of maybe the color thing, I really thought you did a great job of making kind of revisions from here and making this drawing, which was very good, into something that's even better in terms of, you know, how well things are being smoothed out and how carefully you are kind of attending to the values. Even having the background in place is nice to see, where you've gone in and kind of cleaned up what was a little bit of an issue in the last one. It feels much more consistent than it was before. Technique looks good still, just as it did in the last one. So a really nice job. I think just a few nitpicky things here and there. Overall, though, great control with your marker and a good solid first assignment with a lot of color in it.